You ever feel like life is racing by and you're struggling to keep up, chasing goals, but never feeling truly satisfied? Dr. Wayne Dyer, an iconic author and inspirational speaker, dedicated his life to helping people understand that real success comes from living in harmony with your natural self by learning to slow down, reconnect with nature, and saying no to constant demands. Wayne showed that we can reduce stress, find clarity, and discover a deeper joy in life. Today, we'll dive into his powerful teachings to help you find the peace you've been seeking. Special thanks to Hay House for partnering with us to release this video exclusively here on my YouTube channel. If you've been here before, drop a hashtag Believe in the comments below so I can feature you here in a future video. And if you're new, welcome to Believe Nation, the only channel that helps you believe in yourself daily, one video at a time. Believe.
Dr. Dyer, welcome to our program together.
Thank you. It's nice to be back.
I know you took a little time off. You had some touring to do and lecturing to do.
And family to visit.
All of that to be done. I know some listeners have been writing in wondering where you've been. So just trying to let them know.
Give them a globe and tell them to pick a point. They'll find me somewhere.
That's right. Throw an arrow at it. Well, you know, in our ongoing effort to move through some of the chapters in your Being in Balance, your latest book that you have out, I thought today maybe we could concentrate on the second chapter of that book, which is balancing your desire to be at peace and your need to achieve, especially as we go into these busy end of the year, frantic state. Maybe you could give us some enlightenment on what you meant in this chapter.
Well, I call it, there's more to life than making it go faster. And that was a quote from Gandhi when he would always tell people particularly people who were loaded down with stress. I came across an amazing statistic not too long ago that there's 112 million people in the United States, that's 1 out of every 3, who are taking some kind of a medication to relieve them of anxiety or stress or depression or these kinds of things that are basically the result of us trying to push too hard or trying to get too much done or have an inability to just say no when we're confronted with all kinds of people coming at us. I had something happen like that just this morning. Someone called up and wanted me to add a little writing assignment for something that I just simply don't have the time for. And there was a time when I would hem and haw, and then they would, of course, grasp onto that little bit of reservation that I might have, and try to use a little bit of guilt. And before you know it, I would be having another assignment and one more thing on the pile that I would have to do. But I've learned the magic of those 2 little letters combined to make the word no. And the more that this person would talk, I responded by saying, but you didn't understand. I said, no, I'm unable to do that like 5 minutes ago. And finally the person got the message. And I didn't do it nasty. I didn't get myself all upset or get them all upset or whatever. And when I hung up, I was very relieved that I didn't have one more little writing thing that they wanted me to do. It was only going to take an hour of my time and all of those reasons that they were giving me. So I think one of the things that we have to learn to do in order to slow ourselves down and to remove some of these stress-producing things that we have, and people are taking pills to be able to go to sleep for insomnia. They're taking pills to, every time there's any kind of a little anxious thing that comes up, they're taking them for their deficit disorders, attention deficit disorders, and we've got more labels and things that we're placing on people that didn't even exist a few years ago. And, of course, we're selling medication in large amounts at very, very expensive prices in order for us to just maintain something that we all have naturally within ourselves. I just returned from the mainland. I live on Maui. I'm on Maui now, and I notice a big difference that when I'm here and then when I'm on the mainland. As soon as I got off the plane and got into a car, I noticed that the people on the mainland were doing more honking of their horns, and people were anxious. That people were driving a little bit closer to my car than than what I'm normally accustomed to. And I seemed to be getting exasperated kinds of looks at me. And I kept thinking to myself, what is the big hurry? Where is everybody going? Why is everybody trying to get someplace else so quickly? And it's like when you're on the island or when you're in nature and when you're out there, just allowing yourself to live at peace and be in a peaceful state, you find yourself, everything slows down. Your metabolism slows down. You begin to notice things that you didn't see before. A simple cloud formation can be something that you can spend some time at. Looking at a spider web, which is one of my favorite things to do. I still cannot figure out how in the world it can create those perfect creations time after time after time. Or to just to examine a simple little thing like a tree. There's so much to learn in the Tao, which I've been writing about, and I'm working on a new book called Change Your Thoughts, Change Your Life, How to Live the Wisdom of the Tao. And the Tao, written 2,500 years ago, really tells people that God is in nature, not in some being outside of us, but in nature. Find yourself a place or a time or an experience every single day, if you can, where you're just in tune with nature and slowing yourself down just a little bit and learning and practicing to say, no, I don't have the inclination to take on something else. Just getting yourself into that more slowed down, easier, more peaceful state that you were conceived in and that you have deep within you. There's a line that Herman Melville, one of my favorite lines from Herman Melville's Moby Dick, he says, "For as this appalling ocean surrounds the verdant land, so in the soul of man lies one insular Tahiti, full of peace and joy, but encompassed by all of the horrors of the half-lived life." There's a place deep within each and every one of us, and that place of peace, that place of joy, place of calmness, of kindness, that is stress-free, is something that we can retreat to and go within at any time in our lives. And we fill ourselves with all of these ideas that if I'm not busy and if I'm not doing something and if I'm not taking on more chores, then somehow I'm incomplete. And I think one of the great lessons that I try to write about in that second chapter of Being in Balance is that, I'm quoting from Nisargadatta Maharaj, a great teacher of mine in India, and he said, you don't have to do anything. You just have to be. And it's very interesting. The more you allow yourself to just be and to be at peace and to be more of an observer and to be aligned with and tuned into nature and your natural rhythms and stop all of that internal kind of, I've got to do this, if I don't get it done, and if I don't get it done on time, then if you get rid of all of that kind of thing, the inclination to have to take a pill to lower your blood pressure and another pill to tranquilize you and get you down and another pill to help you to go to sleep, and another pill to keep you from having more attention deficit disorders or to slow yourself down. This, to me, is all interfering with our natural rhythms, the natural rhythm of joy and peace and slowing ourselves down. And I find when I'm on the island, when I'm here on the island, when I'm in the water and when I'm doing yoga and when I'm walking and the irony of all of ironies is that the more I stay at peace and in those joyful, calm states, literally, the more I get done. It's easier to do things when you don't have any pressure on yourself in order to complete them, when you just allow yourself to be in that natural state rather than trying to push yourself. So that's my little advice on how to slow down.
Well, that's a great message for those of us right now who feel immense pressure to buy more things and see people that we may not want to see and go places, all during the holidays in particular. When we have a hard time saying no, that our personal time is more important.
The holidays should be, they represent a time. Almost all of the holidays are based around a spiritual practice of some kind or another, whether it's Christianity or whether it's Judaism or the Ramadan and so on. And all of them, it's time for us to go within and remind ourselves what this is all about. There's nobody that you have to see that you don't want to see. There's nothing that you have to buy that you don't want to buy. There's all of it. Every single bit of that is just simply a choice. And you'll never find me. If you're ever looking for me, by the way, don't look for me in a mall. Don't look for me in some place out there buying things and wrapping them up and putting it. That's not the way I do the holidays. I do them in a very, very different way. And perhaps I'll do a show on that in the future.
That'd be a great idea, maybe in the next couple of weeks while the time is ripe. Well, Dr. Dyer, we have a little bit of time before our break. I think I'd like to bring Sam on the air with us from Line 4, Boston, Massachusetts. Sam, maybe you could just say hello and give us your question, and then Dr. Dyer can respond to you after the break. What's going on, Sam?
Nothing much, Summer. How you doing?
Very well.
Hi, Sam.
How you doing, Dr. Dyer?
I'm doing great, thanks. How are you?
Great. This is surreal talking to you. I can't believe I'm actually connected with you right now. Wow. Well, my question was, I've been getting into a lot of your teachings lately, and I've been unbelievably inspired. And it's almost like connecting what I haven't been able to describe in my life with like a realization of what you've been talking about. And I'm in college right now. I'm going to school for architecture. And I've been trying to find what it is that's my life purpose, that should be my fulfillment, not searching with my ego, but searching with what is in tune for me, what's meant for me. Mm-hmm. And I'm not sure exactly how to find that. What's the best way to find my purpose?
What is it that gives you your greatest passion? I mean, what's the greatest passion that you have in your life?
Well, I mean, I'm still pretty young. I've been just trying to absorb.
You might be young, but I mean, you might only have an hour left too. I mean, you might have a bus waiting to hit you when you walk out. So it's like, what I'm trying to say is, you only get now. You get to live today, and what we do when we try to find something really big, like our purpose, and just sort of connect to it as something that's going to take care of us for the rest of our life. If we can break it down into something manageable, like, what do I feel great about? What do I feel internally that I know that I'm really here doing what I was destined to do? What gives me the greatest amount of pleasure or joy in my life? What would the answer to that be?
Well, honestly, I've been getting into a lot of new groundbreaking type of physics. Like, I don't know if you've ever heard about, like, string theory and a lot of things like that.
Sure.
Really interesting. I mean, I'm going to school for architecture, and I mean, I don't think I've experienced enough of to really get a full feel for it yet, but everything with physics has just been.
So if you feel passionate about discovering, like the mysteries behind quantum physics or the mysteries behind, what's holding this universe together, I have a little toy I guess it's a toy. My daughter Stephanie gave it to me. It's in my living room here on Maui, and it's a globe of the world, okay? And this globe is got an electromagnetic field around it, and it's got a plug, and you plug it in, and then you set this thing and right in the middle of it, and it sits there suspended in midair in this electromagnetic field. I don't know if you've ever seen one of these or not. It's the most fascinating thing in the world because it's just sitting there. It's just like you run your finger all the way around it, and it's just suspended in midair. And everybody that walks in here, I ask them, what do you think of that? And some people look at it and they go, oh, well, it's just a little toy and it's all this. I said, well, wait a minute. This is much more than a toy. Look at that. What do you think is holding that thing in place? Well, magnets of some kind. I said, yeah, but that's a force. That's an invisible force. There's an invisible intelligence in there that is holding that thing. And I have been so inspired by that crazy little toy, thinking about, now you're going to architecture school, and I really wanted to talk to an architect about this because I mean, if that's a possibility that we can plug something in and hold it and suspend it in midair, that's exactly what's happening with the Earth, by the way. I mean, it's just electromagnetic fields are just holding it in midair. Couldn't we build a house and have the furniture, like have the bed, suspended in midair on an electromagnetic field? I mean, if it works for a tiny little thing like a grapefruit-sized, globe, it certainly must work for, anything else. Big size shouldn't make any difference if the theory is there. Do you see what I mean? I mean, it's like you can get excited and thrilled about anything, and when you're in passion, when you're in that place within yourself where you feel so divinely passionate about something, you are not only on purpose, but you are exhibiting the fact that whatever it is that you feel passionate about, you can manifest and attract and create for yourself in your life. And that's really my answer to you. It's like finding whatever it is that you find so exciting about whatever it is that you're reading, whatever it is that you're experiencing, and then taking it out there, getting out there in nature, and making that, the focus of your day today. Now, next week, it might be something totally different. I mean, 15 minutes before I did this show, I went for a long swim out in the Pacific Ocean. And on the way back, walking back, there was a squid on the sand. Now, I've never seen a squid that was this big. It was almost 3 feet in diameter, this huge thing. And I only knew it was a squid because it was when I turned it over with my foot because the thing was almost dead. All this black ink came out of it. And I thought, I'm going to look that thing up on the Internet. I'm going to find out what kind of a squid that would be and whether I'm going to ever eat calamari again or whatever. At any rate, it's like you can find new passion every moment, every day in your life instead of looking for it in something outside of yourself.
Right.
Does that answer your question? It's just that's where it feels like to me this morning.
Yes, that's perfect. And I've also been, I'm in the middle of reading The Power of Intention. I'm just starting, recently in my life to focus on intending to get these things in my life that are on purpose and that I'm meant to be.
Yeah. Find excitement in everything. As Rumi says, one of my favorite quotes is, sell your cleverness and purchase bewilderment. Get yourself into a state of awe about everything in this universe. Go out there and just stand next to a tree and ask yourself, how similar am I to a tree? Just because I move about and from place to place and this tree doesn't, but it's rooted in the ground and it is extended outward and it is always reaching toward the light. Okay? I mean, that is such a perfect metaphor for what you can do. You can find your purpose in even just observing a tree every day of your life. That's what the Tao has taught me to do.
Well, Sam, thank you for your call. I think we're going to let you go now.
I could go on with this all day.
I know you could. I know. That's why
I
I'm
get very motivated by that. Yeah.
But we have a full board of callers.
Okay,
and
let's
I'd love
talk.
to get some other people in
Great.
as well. Thanks for your call,
Thanks,
Sam.
God bless you, my friend.
All right, let us move on. We have Rhonda now. She is in Bradenton, Florida. Rhonda, welcome to our show.
Hi, thanks for having me on.
Hi, Rhonda.
Hi, Dr. Dyer. I want to tell you that over vacation a couple weeks ago, I listened to There's a Spiritual Solution to Every Problem.
Right.
And that was amazing. Like, I've watched you on television, and I got done listening to the CDs and went and bought Being in Balance. And it was an amazing book. Thank you for writing.
Oh, you're so welcome. It's my pleasure.
I love it. But there is one thing after, sometimes I catch myself going, well, what would Dr. Dyer do, right? What has he taught us to do? And I'm in the situation, this is kind of me letting my ego down to call in because I have a nationwide business, and I'm on television a lot, and I have my own radio show. And so, it looks like I'm successful, right? Mm-hmm. But the company that I've been investing in and getting, national recognition doesn't make a lot of money. Mm-hmm. And I did exactly what you just told Sam to do. I actually even quit a job and started my passion, a company that, for some reason God gave me this ability that if you ask me, what should I get my wife, and I don't want to spend any money, it will come to me. And people say, wow. So I thought, well, I can help other people, not spend a lot of money and go buy junk, right? So I started this business, and I've been waiting and investing. And now, even though I hear everything you're saying, and oh my goodness, I try to do it, it's just kind of like, you just keep waiting. And There's a Spiritual Solution to Every Problem. You said something in there I remember about waiting is, like it's already here, act like it's already here.
Right.
And I keep doing that, and I just don't know if you've ever found yourself in a situation where you believed and you were passionate and you tried and you did it, and it's just not happening.
Well, it just depends on what you mean by not happening and how you evaluate, these things. I mean, you use the word success to describe, what look like all the external indices of what success is, successful radio show, you've got visibility, you've got the ability to identify, certain kinds of things that would help other people in business and so on. And as long as you are, no matter what you think, is it Barb? What is your first name?
My name's Rhonda.
Rhonda, no matter how you phrase or rephrase everything that you just said to me as you listen to the show over again, you're still coming from lack. You're still coming from a position that says, I don't have enough, or it's not showing up the way I want it to show up. And until you can get past that, until you can get yourself into the present moment and say, whatever I'm supposed to have is here. If more is supposed to come, I'm open to it and I'm ready for it and it's on its way and it's likely going to show up. But if it does or if it doesn't, I'm not going to interfere with. I'm not going to question. There's one thing that the Tao has taught me more than anything else, I think, is to not interfere and to stay in a sense of divine timing. So anyway, this idea of interfering in divine timing, it's your passion, dear. It's your passion that is your measure of your success. Are you living it? Are you feeling fulfilled? Are you feeling like you're making a difference? Are you excited? Are you happy? Are you in awe? Are you bewildered? Is it a glorious time in your life? If the answers to those things are yes, the details of how much shows up and when it shows up and if it's going to show up in the way that you think that it should show up, those are different indices than you want to be using to measure, the happiness or the joy or the success of your life. And I know that sounds easy to say in a materialistic world that, requires us to pay our mortgages and so on. But It's my knowing within that when you stay with your bliss, when you really stay with it, that whatever it is that you are desiring will show up for you, and it'll show up for you exactly when it's needed.
Well, I really appreciate you saying that. I always try to remember when you tell the story of your daughter when you were on stage at PBS about how she wanted to make a CD.
Right.
And, she wanted it, and you kept telling her to envision it. And I always try to do that because that was such a great story.
Yeah, the idea is that See, I always told her that, it's in the contemplation of the idea that you create the power to have it show up. It's not just the fact that you think it and then you say, oh, and then you pray for it, because that's almost always the worst thing that you can do anyway, because when you pray to God to resolve a problem for you, the assumption behind that activity is that God is a withholding God, that God has health and has wealth and has prosperity and has the right person and all that, but it's withholding it from you. And God is not a withholding God. There's nothing being withheld at all. It is a constant state of creation. So it's in the contemplation of it and then staying with it. And every time she would hang up, the studio would open up, and then the musicians would show up, and then she called me, and finally I said something to her, but honey, it costs money to do that. And she said, that's why I'm calling you. I mean, she had it all down, and it all worked out for her, and her CD is doing great now, and she's working on her third one. So keep that in mind. It's in the contemplation of the idea. The law of flotation was not discovered by the contemplation of the sinking of things. The law of flying was not discovered by the contemplation of the staying on the ground of things. You're still contemplating the staying on the ground of things for yourself instead of contemplating and really feeling the exuberance of what it is that you want to manifest, and just knowing and saying thank you, thank you, thank you, and it will show. It will in divine time.
I needed to hear that, Dr. Dyer. I'm so glad I got through to you. I really am, and your teachings mean so much. And I am really waiting for the book on God gives you your friends to apologize for your family.
Right.
I'm waiting for that one.
I'll work on it. I'm working on the Tao right now.
Okay, well, thank you so much
Thanks,
for your time.
Rhonda. God bless you.
Thanks, Rhonda. I kind of like the idea of a contemplating of staying on the ground of things.
Yes.
I understood what you meant. I saw that very clearly. That made sense to me.
That's good.
All right, Dr. Dyer, let's go on now. We've got Edward. He's in Westchester, California. Edward, welcome to our program today with Dr. Wayne Dyer.
Hey, how you doing?
Hi, Edward. How are you?
Oh, I'm well. The sun's shining. I'm actually sitting under a tree, so listening to you talk about relating to a tree was a good thing.
Oh, man, I'm telling you, trees blow me away. I mean,
man, I hear you.
You can literally put your arms around a tree and feel the energy of a tree, and you just have to watch them. I mean, on Maui especially, there's palm trees, and boy, these are the most amazing things that God ever created. I mean, these winds come up at 100 miles an hour, and they just bend over. They're the most flexible, beautiful things.
Yeah, I have those outside my window. I live in Venice Beach also, so I have those outside my window, and same thing.
Much to learn from them. One of my favorite stories is of my little girl when she was 3 years old. We had told her that if you ever get separated from mommy or daddy, just go hug a tree and just hang on to the tree. And
I have a 4-year-old. I'm going to tell him the same thing.
We found her one day standing out there. She was hugging a tree. I said, "What are you doing?" She said, "I'm practicing." I thought it was really great.
That's awesome.
What's up? What's on your mind, Edward?
Well, I've been listening, and everything's speaking so directly to me. Because lately things have been amazing. Like finally, a lot of these law of attraction type things are clicking with me. I was just the other day. I was thinking of my friend. I was thinking back on my elementary school years.
Right.
And thinking about who were my true friends. Before I started worrying about what anyone thought of me. Right.
Right.
I'm 32 now. And so I thought of this one name came up first thing. And I just sort of remembered what it was like hanging out with him. 2 days later, I got an email from him through his website.
I was just going to say, boy, I'll tell you what. I knew before you said that he contacted you after you activated that intelligence. You activated that energy. Yeah, go ahead.
Yes, and I knew because that's one of the things I've heard other people talking about law of attraction. That's one of the first things they say. So when that happened, I threw my hands up. I said, "Oh my God," And like I've been doing one thing you talked about doing whenever I find money or anything, because I've been, looking into my money, wanting to attract more of it, just to allow me to do what I really want to do. And so every time I find it now, I'm just like, thank you for the symbol of your abundance. And all of a sudden, I always got a little, it's small, but, relative, but it's big for me. I have, money in my pocket all the time now, And so that's going great,
I remember my friend Ron, who works at Hay House, telling me the story of Louise Hay. When she first started doing these abundance seminars years ago, back in the 1980s, this was when she was working with AIDS patients and so on, and then and they asked her to do a thing on abundance. There was 8 of them, and they were sitting around in a living room. And so she said to each one of them, she said, "Take out all of the money that you have and put it on the table." So they took the money. Each person took and one person had like $3, another person had 50 cents, another person had no money at all. So there was like a total of these people were carrying around with them, almost no symbols of abundance, and yet they were trying to attract abundance. And she said to them, and I'll never forget this, she said, how do you expect to attract prosperity into your life if you don't carry around evidence of it in the first place so that it can match up with what you have? And people have always been surprised that with me that I carry money with me. And no matter where I go, I always carry a few $1,000s with me. And it isn't because I'm insecure. It isn't because it reminds me of the days I was in an orphanage. It's because it's like if you surround yourself with what it is that you intend to manifest, you become a vibrational match to it. So you don't want to walk around, in an impoverished way, expecting to attract abundance in your life. And there's a good lesson in that.
I heard you say that before, and immediately. I love carrying money. I've always just loved the feeling of it. And I carried it, so I got 200 out, I'm like I had all this money in the bank, but I got 200 out, and I was feeling good, and then I came across a man who was asking for money, and I had like $45 left or whatever, and I felt like God saying, if you want me to give you money, you got to give it without asking. You don't want to hold back on people either if you want me to not hold back.
Right.
Just took all that money and threw it in his bucket, and I saw his face, I kept walking, but I looked back and saw his face like, whoa.
Yeah.
I can't believe that, he got 45, whatever it was.
Right.
And,
when you say to the universe, I am being generous with you, the universe responds back with, I'll be generous back with you. When you say to the universe, gimme, 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 I don't have enough, gimme, 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 the universe says back to you, no, you give me, give me, give me, and you're always in a state of lack. And it's a very interesting proposition. Yeah, it really works that way.
Yeah, so let me just say one thing.
What was the fellow's name, by the way? What was the name of the person who you contacted who had the email? What was his name?
Mike Acuna.
Mike?
Yeah, Mike.
Have you reconnected back with him?
It just happened yesterday, and I sent him my phone number, so I'm hoping I know that I'll hear from him soon.
Yeah, see, he's got something for you. He's got something to tell you, something really, really important for you. I would get on that right away today if I were you.
Okay.
Sometime this afternoon, because that there's no accident in that, and I just have a real strong sense that he's got something to tell you that it's gonna. He doesn't even know what he's got to tell you, but when he says it. Right. It's going to really, really click with you. You're going to just go flying. You're going to be
yeah. That's the way it's been lately. Like, now that I've been paying attention more to my thoughts and what I'm kind of asking, all of a sudden people are talking. They have no idea what they're saying, but all of a sudden these words their words are jumping out of me, and they're speaking so directly to me. It's just like
it's because there's no accidents in this whole universe. I gotta move on. I love your call, though.
Thanks for your call.
Thank you, sir. Thanks for talking to me. It's good.
Stay under the Bodhi tree, man. Stay under the tree. God bless you. You and Buddha.
And Dr. Dyer, we happen to have another man on the line for us. It's Kevin in Albuquerque, New Mexico. Kevin, I'd like to welcome you to the show and to Dr. Wayne Dyer, and let's see what your question is today.
Hi, thank you. Actually,
you're not Kevin?
I'm not. My husband called in and then he gave me the phone, which was great because I would love to talk to Wayne Dyer.
You got me, baby.
Well, this is awesome. I'm so excited.
Thank you. Nice to talk to you.
Well, great. Well, let me just go ahead and start. About 4 years ago, I left a religious cult, and before I went in, I was very independent, very self-sufficient. And when I came out, because we were kind of taught to be dependent and not to trust our own decisions, and when I came out, I was just a total mess. And I mean, I was afraid of the world.
Who were you taught while you were in there? I don't care what the name of it was, but who were you taught to trust if you didn't trust yourself? Who was it?
The leader.
The leader. So this was just another person who had said that I'm to be trusted and you're not?
Well, he believed that God spoke out of his mouth.
I see.
Yeah. Sounds so silly to say that now, but
well, not really. But I mean, what if you believe that God spoke out of everyone's mouth?
I know. Exactly.
If there's no place that God is not, then
exactly. But anyway, and actually, when I went in, I was also single, and when I came out, I was married and had 3 kids. And I just kind of lost myself. I lost my confidence. I lost my self-sufficiency, my ability to trust myself and make decisions. And I was just afraid of the world. And I mean, it was scary for me to call and order pizza. That's how bad it was. Mm-hmm. And it's been.
But when you went in, you weren't like that.
No.
What motivated you to go in?
For me, it was a family. I never really had a real close sense of family, and that's what attracted me. My parents were never really there for me, and they just weren't it's kind of hard to explain, but when I went in there, it was like, we love you, we'll do anything for you. It was a sense of belonging, I think.
Right. Okay.
You know, and I had a real deep sense.
And how old were you when you went in?
I was about 24.
Okay.
24.
And you were in how long?
4 years.
So you're now close to 30?
I'm now 34, because it's going on 5 years since I've been out.
And do you still have the same husband?
I do.
Okay.
I do. But it's been a slow process for me to kind of regain myself, because, you know, before that I always worked, and then I came out and I had 2 kids, and I was actually pregnant with my third, so I haven't worked in a really long time.
Right.
And I just have a lot of fear. And last year I went and actually trained to be a hypnotherapist. And I started seeing clients. I was living in Colorado at the time, and I started seeing clients, and I was actually surprised that, you know, like, wow, I can actually do something, you know, and help other people. And then I moved to New Mexico, and I want to start doing it again, but it's like I get this wall of fear and anxiety, and I just feel like this scariness, like I can't do it. Like, I keep hearing I can't do it. You know, what can I offer people? Why would people listen to me?
Right.
You know, I get that going on, and then I get really depressed, and I feel hopeless, and it's like just falling down into a well, because this wall of fear jumps up in front of me.
Well, let's take it, because we don't have too much time. So let me just take, what is your first name?
It's Bonnie.
Bonnie. So Kevin is your husband?
Yes, and he was in it with me, so he's going through a lot of the same things.
So you left together then?
Yes, we did.
You made the decision that this isn't what you wanted, and you weren't satisfied.
We slowly started realizing that it wasn't what we thought it was.
Okay. So first thing to do with that whole experience is to understand that you attracted it, you needed it, it was a wonderful gift. Okay, so instead of looking upon it as something that was terrible and that took away all of your dignity and took away your confidence and all of those kinds of things, what it did is, and this is what you have to do with any experience in your life. You do this with your addictions too. Addictions are one of the greatest gifts that a person can have. They take you to places, and any low point in your life is something that will provide you with energy to propel yourself to a higher place. Virtually all spiritual advances are preceded by some kind of a negative experience, something which you might interpret to be difficult or wrong or immoral or, you know, taking away from your integrity or whatever it might be. But what it's really doing is providing you with great energy. So now, you know, it's like you have to learn. I always say about the military, I spent 4 years in the military, and what I learned in those 4 years was what I didn't want to be.
Right.
I didn't want to be somebody who dressed like everybody else, who took orders, who was told that the killing people was okay and all of that. You know, and it's not like any judgment about anybody else who decides to go there. It just was really, really emphatic for me to learn firsthand, experientially, what I didn't want. You had the same experience. You went in there and you really learned what you didn't want. You didn't want somebody else telling you that they were God and you are not. You didn't want somebody else speaking for you and giving you orders and diminishing your integrity and your mind and all of those kinds of things. That's number one. And number two, what I hear from you, Bonnie, is a very, very strong woman. The minute that you took the phone after your husband called and said, I would be very happy to talk to Wayne Dyer, and the way that you projected yourself throughout the 2 or 3 minutes that you spoke there was of a woman who knows what she wants, is very strong, has a great deal to offer, an incredible aura of confidence and strength, rather than that inner message that you're still hanging on to because you're not realizing that that journey that you took into that place where you looked into hell and said, this is not where I want to be, and stepped back. That's a great reminder to you that you have something very, very powerful to offer, because if you didn't, you'd still be stuck back there in a cult and doing exactly what somebody else. I mean, to get out of the kind of circumstances that you were in and to do it with not only your sanity but your strength is something that you should be applauding yourself for rather than finding some reason to doubt yourself. Does that make sense?
Yes, thank you.
Yeah, so like now you look back and you say, hey, look where I've been. I do the same. That's why I always talk about my addictions, and I always talk about the struggles. I talk about the divorces that I've had. I talk about the difficulties and the struggles, because every single one of them brought me to a place. You know, I often use the metaphor, when I was in high school, I was a high jumper on the track team, and in order to elevate myself, propel myself over the bar, I had to run up to it and get down as low as I possibly could, and in the process of getting down low, I would generate the energy to propel myself to a higher place. And that's exactly how you have to look at this experience that you had. It was a wonderful, divine, important thing. You signed up for it. God offered it to you. It was a great provider for you. And now you can use that intelligence and that great, strong voice that you have and that great vocabulary and that strong woman that I hear, that mother of three who's been there, who's got an enormous amount to offer everybody else, and that you're going to do it. And this phone call today should confirm that.
That is, and it's so wonderful to talk to you. Thank you so much. I've read a lot of your books, I've discovered you actually when I was going through that class, and it's kind of just opened my eyes to a whole new world and a new way of looking at things, especially coming from where I was.
I hear a very, very strong, powerful, beautiful woman who's a mother and who's been down there and who has a husband as well. And the two of you, nothing can stop you. I promise you. I can read it. I can hear it right through the phone.
Wow. Thank you so much.
Thank you. God bless you, Bonnie. Namaste.
You too.
Bye, Bonnie. Well, Dr. Dyer, our show is a couple minutes away from wrapping up.
We can take one more.
Are you sure? 2 minutes.
I'll do it.
Okay. Well, can our caller? Let's pull up Sherry then from Akron, Ohio. Sherry, welcome to the program. Can you spit it out in 30 seconds? Sherry, line 5. Welcome to our show.
Sherry?
Yes. Hello.
Hi. We just had a minute or so. Just give me real quickly.
Okay. Can the imbalance in my life be making me physically sick?
Yes, definitely it can. What kind of imbalance are you experiencing?
Well, the first thing is I have a very physical job, and I herniated a disc in my neck. Me off work for 2 months. Well, during the 2 months, I also developed extreme dizzy spells, which prevented me from even going outside and walking around.
And what is this work that you're doing, and is it in harmony with what you feel you're here for?
No.
Okay, so the answer to that is you've got to change, you've got to shift out of that. You've got to make that kind of a decision. That's why I took this last call for 2 minutes. It's, even if we can just say it in 1 minute, if you're not doing what you love and loving what you do, then you have to make a change. You either have to change and shift to love what you're doing, and it doesn't sound like you can do that. Your body is saying no, 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 no at every turn, and it will continue to do that. Don't be afraid to take the risk and say to yourself, and if you had just like in 10 seconds to say, what is your greatest passion, what would it be?
Writing.
Writing? Then you know, when we hang up the phone, sit down and write your opening paragraph to whatever it is. Just right now, make a decision to do that. Sit down within the next hour and make that decision. It's 12, and it's like 5 o'clock in the afternoon right now in Akron. By 6 o'clock, see if you can have a paragraph written.
About what I want to do?
Yep. No, just write it. It doesn't matter what you write. Just write. Just write.
Okay.
Okay? And then you'll be guided to where to go with it next.
All right, Sherry, thank you for your call. Yeah.
Sorry we had to cut that short. Call next week.
Yeah, well, from a writer to a writer. She just had to get that message. Thanks so much, Dr. Dyer, for being with us today.
My pleasure.
And congratulations, you're one video closer to who you're meant to be. For some more incredible Wayne Dyer videos, check it out right there next to me. I think you'll love them. Continue to believe, and I'll see you there.
The inner spirit that tells you exactly what you're here for and why you were here and why you showed up. I was in Philadelphia doing an hour there for QVC, and I got an invitation to go to the art museum there in Philadelphia.